Okay, so here we go. It's our final video for today. This is where we're going to code the faces in. So as old Cincinnati native Joe Nuxall used to say, we're rounding third and headed for home. So let's go ahead and get right into NetBeans and continue where we left off. This is a bit different than what we've been doing because we have one function that's going to generate several methods. Let me close this up. I'm actually in the wrong file here, so I want to make sure I'm in the scripts file for day 4. That was my master file. Okay, let's go over to the index.html. And basically, one of the reasons I kind of went out of order with these is if we look at our interface, I'll just bring it up real quickly. You can see that we have this list of figure selectors, and the last one is the flowers. There's a few more that aren't here that you'll get when you get the master. I didn't think they were interesting enough to code, and I had to basically pick which ones we could cover since we had limited time. Make a long story short, I'm going to put a series of people faces in now, and I want to put those on the next line here. So I'm going to do something slightly different here to the interface. So I'm going to minimize this, and we'll go ahead and change that in here. So it turns out that there are 3 kinds of faces, and actually what happened was I developed the smiley face first, and then because I'm a creative individual, I got playing with it, and I ended up making a sad face and a sort of angry or grim face. So these are going to go here like this, and we're going to have one after another. So the first one is called smiley. Smiley, like that. And of course, this has to match. And then we'll put this up here. Smiley. Okay, so I want these to be on a different line, and I want to put a title in. So if I go up here to the top where I started this section, I had this paragraph, and I'm just going to copy that and put that in here now before the faces in the markup. And let me just move that over so we can see that this is kind of like a new subsection here when we read the code. And then, of course, instead of being figure selector, this could be people. I'm going to call it folks. So folks selector. And so then our first one here is the smiley. We're going to do all 3 here at once. I'm tired, and there's no reason really not to anyway. So let's go ahead and paste them in. And then the second one is the Sadie. That's S-A-D-E-Y. So that's the sad face, Sadie. And if you want to put Sadie in the interface for the user to read, you can, or you can just put sad. It doesn't matter, as long as they know what you're talking about. And then the last one is the grim face, which we're just going to call angry here. All right, angry. I think we can do better with the angry face, and I guess I'll just call this angry in the interface. Okay, let me show you what I just did here in the web browser. So if we reload this, you can see that I've added this line, folks selector, and then I have the smiley, the sad, and the angry down here. Again, there's like 3 more of these that you're going to get in the master that we didn't go over. So it'll kind of balance out nicely. Okay, so basically all the HTML is done here in the interface. We can close this. We can go on over to the JavaScript. And then we'll go up to the top and put our symbolic constants in. And I think these start, let's see. I just want to make sure I get this right so it goes with my master code in case. Yeah, the smiley is the first one, and it starts at 13. So there's a couple in the master that aren't here. 11 is a crystal, and 12 is a pie, shaped like a piece of pie. And then smiley is 13. So var smiley equals 13. Then var SATI equals 14. And then, whoops, got a capital V there. That's wrong. It should be lowercase. There we go. Var angry equals 15. Okay, so now you can see that those fit in with the heart and flower. We can take up that space. Now we have to add something new. When I started to write the code, it's like, hey, you know, I got code that writes a smiley face, really to do the other faces with a minimal change. So it didn't really make sense to have different methods for those. So instead, I have one method that generates the faces, and you have to tell it which one you want to generate. So we've added some sort of face types in here. So this is going to be our face types. And then again, we have var smile equals 1. In point of fact, these are actually mouth types. So there's really no difference between these faces except for the mouth. Now, if we went further into them, and I decided to use grim here instead of angry, because I think I can do better later with angry. And then finally said, so again, these are going to tell the face method which one of the faces to do. Okay, let's go on down now to our code where we pick up the interface and figure out which the user asks us to do. So we have to check the check boxes, so to speak, to see if the user wants us to draw faces. So I'm going to paste in the flower code, and now I'll just change that, and this is smiley check. And if smiley checked is checked, then we call the smiley part of the smiley case. All right. And then I'll just go ahead and paste this in again. And again, I'm going to overwrite the flower. So I'm going to have 3 of these for each face. And so then the next one is the SADY. That's S-A-D-E-Y. And then, of course, that'll be SADY right here as well. Okay. So again, I'm not using the face types yet. I'm using the general types for the figures. So smiley, SADY, and angry are the figure types. All right. Let me do the last one here. This is going to be angry check. And that's going to put the angry figure into the figure set. Okay, whoops. All right, so we got angry, SADY, and smiley. Looks like we're good there. And now we're going to come on down to our code. And we're actually going to have 3 cases here, one for each face. So I'll do the first one, and because they're super similar, I'll end up copying it. So case, smiley, colon. And now I need to check my handy dandy printout that I did so I could do this easily. So we're going to save the context, G2 save. And then we're going to call the face method that we're going to write in a minute. We'll pass the context in, G2, and the X and the Y center, and the radius. And now here's where we use our special face type, so smile is the smiley face type. Okay. Then we want to go ahead and do a G2.restore, and we don't do any fill or draw here because that's all done in the face. I think I talked about that when I went through the video. That and I need a break here. I'm sorry I forgot to copy that. I usually do that all at once. Okay, again, these are going to be real similar, so I'm going to need 2 more. So I'll just copy smiley, come on down here, insert a space, paste it in, go ahead and insert a space, a line that is, sorry, and copy it one more time. And then just tidy up things a little bit here. Okay, so let me scroll up. So there's the smiley. The next one is the saddie, right? And then that's going to be sad here. So again, they're real similar, except that we're just telling it what style face to draw. So smiley, saddie. This one's angry, right? And again, I made that grim. I'm not satisfied that the angry face is real useful yet, but that's okay. Okay? So, smile, sad, and grim. Let's check and make sure we got those right. So we'll go back up here. There they are, smile, grim, and sad. Let's make sure that I have sad there. It didn't strike a chord. Whoops, too far. There it is. There it is. Okay, smile, grim, and sad. Excellent. Okay, now we just need to add the code in for the faces method that we're calling here. It's actually face, not faces. So function, face, and then it takes the context. It takes the X and the Y for the center, the radius, which is the size, and then face type, which is a constant, as we saw. And right now that can be 3 types, but I fully expect that I'll add additional faces as we go. So again, let me shuffle my papers here for a second. All right. The first thing we do is we check to make sure that face type isn't null. So if face type is null, equal is test for equality, then we'll just go ahead and default it face type equals smile. So by default, we'll get a smile face. That's not too likely to happen, but it's kind of smart to do it that way. All right, so now we're going to just go ahead and start to draw our face. So context dot begin path. Oops, that should be a capital P. That's called camel case, by the way. So when you write variable names, you make them lowercase to start, and you capitalize any additional word in the name. And if you do that all the time, then you don't have to guess about how things are spelled. Okay, we're going to translate our context. Translate, and make X and Y the center. You've seen this many times now. And then now for these, you've also seen this. I've been rotating them randomly. So context rotate 2 times math.pi, which is a full circle, times math.random. So that's going to basically rotate this. Whoops. That should be a 2, not an @ sign. So that's going to basically rotate it randomly between 0 and just less than 360 degrees. So it'll just, all our faces will be randomly turned. And since the function basically draws 20 at a time, unless you set it, that kind of works nice when you get a bunch of faces to have them all turned different ways in that. Again, as I mentioned, we could make that a big change and make that a global thing with the checkbox, so the user would decide if we do that or not. But I kind of like it the way it is, so right now I'm not going to do that. Version 2, right? That's one thing as you code, you're always thinking about version 2. Okay, we want to begin path again. When I first wrote this code, I had a lot of trouble because the features kept running together. So I'd draw the body, and then there'd be a line between the body and the eye, etc. And the key to that is to begin and end the path with a fill or a stroke for each part. So we're about to do the body. Let me move this up. It'll be easier to see in the video. And I just did the context begin path, and now I'm going to draw the body with an arc. So context dot arc, and then the parameters for the arc are going to be 0 and radius. Again, that's based on the fact that I translated the coordinate system to be centered on the figure. And since we're drawing a circle with the arc command, we'll start at 0 and we'll go for 2 times math.pi revolutions, which will be a complete circle. Again, it doesn't matter if I go counter or clockwise or counterclockwise, so I'll just put false for counterclockwise. And then now this is important, so context dot fill will fill in the body of the face, and then context dot stroke will go ahead and draw the outline. And that finishes the body, but it also finishes the path that's drawing the body, so now it won't be connected when we go to draw the eyes. Okay, let's go ahead and do our eyes now. This is a little comment that says what we're doing. And so the eyes we're going to do, first we'll get the y coordinate for the eyes. And that'll be the same because the left and the right eye are on the same coordinate. So IY equals -1 times the radius divided by 4. Okay? And that's just something I kind of fiddled with to figure it out, but basically, if you think about it, if we move 1/4 of the radius from the center point, you know, again, it's in the center, the sort of like the nose, right below the nose is the center of the eye. So if we move up about 1/4 of the way of the width of the face, that's where the eyes are going to be centered. So this is the y coordinate where the eyes are going to be, the plane that they're going to be on. It's a horizontal one. And then they'll have obviously a different x, an x for the left and an x for the right. So now we're going to go ahead and get those. And so let's just, I guess we don't need this because I have a nice variable name here. So var I x left equals, so var I x left. So this is the x value for the left eye. Seems like it should be I left x, but I didn't do that, so I'm going to just leave the code the way it is. And this is -3 times the radius divided by 10. And I wanted to stop for a second. I think I mentioned this in the video, but I took a wood carving class, and when you do a face, oops, radius is misspelled here. The proportions are 1/5. So, oops, got an extra equal sign in there. Let's get rid of that. There we go. So basically, it's 1/5 of the face to the right eye. Then the eye itself is 1/5. Then another 1/5 between the eye. Then the left eye is 1/5. And then the final 1/5 between the left eye and the end of the face. So you can kind of divide it into 5s. And that actually looks pretty good here for drawing our face figures. Okay, let's see. We got our IX left. Now we're going to go ahead and draw it. So we say context dot begin path again. And again, I explained that we have to do that because we want these all to be separate paths so they don't run together. It took me a while to figure that out, by the way. So now I'm going to draw another arc. This time it'll be for the left eye. So context dot arc, and then that's 0, 0. Wait a minute, sorry. I lost my place in the reading. Oh, I left, I y. Okay, so I x left, I y. That's the location of the center for this left eye. So again, the eyes share the same y coordinate, right, because they're on the same horizontal plane. And then this is radius divided by 5. which is the size for the eye. And then the rotation begins at 0 and ends at 2 times math.pi, which means a complete circle. And again, it's false to go counterclockwise. It doesn't matter which way we go. And then we stroke to draw this, or render it, context, oops, dot stroke. And now we want to do our right eye. So we drew our left eye, now we'll do our right eye. So var variable I x right equals, and then let's see what the calculation for that is. I just lost my place again. 3 times radius divided by 10. Oh, so the difference here is that one's negative and the other's positive because of the way we've centered this on the origin when we translated the coordinate system. So it kind of makes sense that the y-axis bisects the face, and then we have the right and left eye. All right, so 3 times radius divided by 10 is the ix right, and then context dot begin path again, and now I'm going to draw that eye. And again, we use the arc for that, so that's going to be context dot arc, and then the arc is going to go I x right I y, and then radius divided by 5 again. They're the same size. And then the rest of this is the same, of course. You're going to start at 0 and go around to 2 times math.pi. And then this is false again. It doesn't matter if we go counter or counterclockwise. Okay, so what do we do so far? We figured out the I coordinates, and then we drew 2 arcs using those coordinates. Whoops, actually I forgot to draw the last arc there, didn't I? So context dot stroke. And I didn't bother to fill these because I already filled the body, and the fill colors should be the same. And also they kind of, if they were different, I think it looks better to just have the outline. So like a smiley face doesn't have different colored eyes. But you could change that if you thought it looked better. Okay, now we're going to draw the mouth. And so we're going to begin a new path. So context dot begin path. And then now, since I can do different things here, I need to have a switch statement, and it depends on which face type I'm going to use. So switch on the face type. And then I'll have a case for each type. So the first case is smile, so case smile, colon. The case will end with a break statement. Oops, not capital B, like we saw before. We used the case earlier in our selectors for which figure we're drawing. All right, so now we need the code to draw the smile. And this is basically just context dot arc, and then ix right, oops, sorry. Oh, 0, okay, yeah, 0, comma, radius divided by 5. And then again, we're going to, oh shit, I made a mistake here. I'm having trouble keeping pace with my reading. So let me just check this again. So context arc 0, radius divided by 10. Yep. And then this is going to start. This is something I had trouble figuring out. I had to keep trying a couple of different things before I got it. So radius divided by 5, comma, 0, comma, 2 times math.pi divided by 8. Yeah, this is the part which was funky. So I had to figure out how to start and stop this. So let's see. Again, I'm having some trouble following my typing here. It's late in the day. So arc 0, radius divided by 10. Radius times 0.50. Sorry about that. So that's actually the size of the mouth. And then the mouth starts, and now this is the part that was a little weird here, so let's get rid of that 0. It starts at 2 times math.pi divided by 8 and runs to 6 times math.pi divided by 8. And then again, this last value here is false. It doesn't matter if we're going counterclockwise or not. Okay, so there's our smile function, and we've got our break done. So we need to add, continuing with our recording, we got the smile. Now we'll finish our other 2 cases. So the next case is the grim or the angry face, and this is a straight line for the face. So we'll say case grim, colon, and then we have to do some calculations here to get some new variables that we're going to use. So this is going to be a straight mouth. Context.arc. And we'll go. Oh, wait a minute. What am I doing? I lost my place again. All right. Sorry. So var mouth y equals 0.60 times radius. Var mouth y equals 0.60 times radius. It's kind of funny. It's mouthy. It's really mouth y. I should have capitalized the y, but I didn't in the code, and I don't like to change. Oh, wait a second. I did. Good. Okay. Sorry about that. All right. So mouth y times 60, or mouth y equals 0.60 times the radius. And then now we're going to calculate the left and the right coordinates for this here. So var mouth x left. So again, this is kind of like the eyes. The y is the same for the 2 endpoints. So var mouth x left. And I'm going to go ahead and put that next one in too. So var mouth x right. And now we'll define these. So again, you got the same relationship here. We have a y value for the 2 endpoints of the straight line mouth. We just have to figure the beginning and ending x. So the x left is going to be -1 times radius divided by 5. So -1 times the radius divided by 5. And the mouth x right is going to be just radius divided by 5. And really this is 1 times radius divided by 5, but we don't bother to put that in there. Again, this idea of symmetry, these are symmetrical to the y-axis, which splits the face directly in half. So again, that just makes it so easy for us to calculate these things if we translate the figure we're drawing to the center of the coordinate system. Okay, so now we just move to the first line, excuse me, the first point. So context dot move to mouth x left and mouth y. Whoops. So that moves to the first side of the mouth, and then we're just going to context dot line to draw a line to the mouth x right. And it doesn't really matter, by the way, if we draw from left to right or not, right? And then again, that's also going to be mouth y. Okay, so that draws the grim mouth, and then we have a break there. That's the end of that. And oops, no, I forgot. Do we stroke? I think we're going to stroke, actually. That was one of the problems with oh no, I actually have a stroke for all of these at the end of the case. So we have one case left, which is the case for the sad face. So let's go here. Case sad. All right, so case sad, context arc. All right, now the way this works is we're going to use our arc method to draw the mouth, but it'll just be inverted. So it's really, you know, up for happy and down for sad, right? So context arc 0, comma, radius. Radius times 0.50. Radius times 0.50. Then 1.25 times math.pi, comma 1.75 times math.pi, and again false, it doesn't matter. It does matter in this case, by the way. We want to, you know, draw in the right rotation. I got something wrong here. Let's see. So context arc 0, radius times 0.050, 1.25 times math.phi. Oh, okay, right there. We need a comma, not a period. And then one, oops. Yes, okay, good. And that's a break. Now, remember I told you we had to worry about, let's see, that bothers me a little bit. I hope that I didn't screw up my brackets. Yeah, that's close enough. It's probably the right bracket. Okay, so this is the end of the switch statement. And then basically, I didn't bother to stroke for these, so I have to do that. Whichever mouth I did, I now have to actually render it. So context dot stroke, and there we go. So the point here is that there's no point in adding stroke to all three of the cases. Whichever one you have, you're still going to draw it. So that's what we do. Okay, my guess is I probably don't quite have this right, but let's go ahead and test it. So we're going to run our app, and then again, here are my three faces. Let's do them one at a time. So I'll do the smiley, hit draw, and oh, so it looks like I got most of the code right, but I'm missing the initial circle. So that's probably just an oversight in my typing, or maybe I forgot to do a line of code when I copied it. So I'm going to go ahead and fix that right away. So let's go back over here. And actually, that's not in this code here. So all this code does is the mouth. So we're missing the drawing the body here. So let's see here. Begin path, translate, randomly rotate it. Okay, context 0. There's the one. Let's see if I just made a mistake when I copied the code. So let me shuffle my papers a second and find that code. So let's see, body, arc 0, radius 0, 2 times math pi. False. Oh, that seems fine. Fill and stroke. Okay, what's going on there? Context begin path. Contents are at zeros. Oh, I'm missing a parameter. Radius. Yeah, okay, it's missing the parameter here. So there's a 0 in here that we forgot. Okay, so arc 0, 0, radius 0. Oh, okay, yeah. So 0, 0 is the point. Radius is the size, and then 0 to 2 times math pi is the amount of circle to draw. Okay, I think we're good on this. Let's go ahead and test it one more time. And we'll check our smiley again. Just do them one at a time. And we're good. Now, I know that that code is common to the next one, so we'll just go on and clear this. And when you clear it, it clears to black unless you set the clear color. So I'm going to go ahead and set the background color. I guess I'll use the white again. Hit OK, and then clear it again to that color. And then I'm going to uncheck the smiley, and now we're going to do the sad, and we're going to hit the draw. Looks good. We'll clear it one more time, and we'll go ahead and do the angry face. And we'll uncheck that, and we'll hit draw, and something happened. It didn't work. Okay, so that's bad because, okay, so it's doing the first part, and then it's failing in the code that does the face. So let's take a look at that. I probably have a parameter missing or something. Okay, so let's come on down here, and that's the this one here called Grim. So I'm just going to assume that I copied some code wrong. So first I'll just proofread the code. So mouth Y is 0.60 times radius. That's right. Mouth X left is -1 times radius divided by 5. Mouth X right, oh, there it is, right there. So we have it misspelled. So I could have gone ahead and used the debugger and it would have told me that, but I kind of guessed that I had misspelled the code since I had it working before. And let's see, while we're here, we'll just finish this out. Mouth X right, radius divided by 5. Mouth X left, mouth X right. Looks good. I think we just had that single typo. So let's run the code again. Firefox, I'll just click on the angry, which is the last one to test, and hit draw. And oh, it's still failing. Let me refresh and make sure that I got the new version of the code. Nope. All right, there's something going on there. Let's test real quickly here with our developer tools. Yep, move to is not a function, so that's misspelled. And that's on line 326. So if we roll over here, there it is. So that should be a capital T. And that's the problem. So I had more than one problem there. We caught the one problem, but I missed that I misspelled that. That's something that drives people crazy when they learn to program, is it's very literal. So just a little typo like that. And so you have to get good at kind of figuring out why you get a certain kind of error. So here we go. So here's the angry face again. That could probably be developed more, but that's good enough. Okay, that's it. Day 4. I hope you've enjoyed everything. I'll have one more video for you tomorrow, just talking about different things that we could do and reviewing the additional things that I didn't cover, which are going to be in the master, and you can get the code for the whole app. So I hope you've been enjoying this, and I hope this has kind of instilled an interest in computer science and programming for you. All right, have a good day.